Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another Lazy Show where we teach you AutoCAD in a way that is more productive so you can stop wasting your time. As always, we show up here each Thursday at 10 p.m., and that is Pennsylvania in the United States time. So, um, we're gonna start right away with today's presentation, which is gonna be awesome. We're gonna learn something that is gonna save us a lot of time working in AutoCAD. So let me start sharing my screen over here. All right. Let's see. Uh, Oops. What I just did. Okay. All right. So let me start getting ready over here. And as always, if you have any questions during today's presentation, you can stop me at any time with your questions, suggestions, and we will be able to answer you live. All right. So Xiomara Araujo is on the chat. Hi, Xiomara. She said thumbs up. Hope you're doing great. Um, so, all right. So let me start getting ready over here. Okay. So, um, in today's presentation, we're gonna try to simplify the process of calculating areas in AutoCAD. All right. And why do we need that? Well, let's say, for example, that I have this site plan over here that I need to subdivide. And let's say a client comes and say, hey, I want an area over here of let's say 8,500 square feet. So if I do this process manually, of course I'll have to draw a rectangle around these points, something like so, and then go ahead and check on my property palette and see, okay, so this is, let me expand over here. So this is an area of 3,000. So I'll have to, start playing with the area till I get my desired 8,500 area, right? So again, let's try to automate that process so we can simplify this process. And the way we're going to do it is using dynamic blocks. So we're going to create a quick polyline dynamic block that we can input whatever area we need, and it will be able to automate this process. All right. So what I'm going to start then is and I'm going to use this example of a site plan, but once you learn this technique, you can implement it for any type of situation. Let's say if you work on a structural, um, you might need it to calculate the areas of certain items such as columns and so on. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly create a square using the line command, and I'm gonna say 12 inches on each side really quick like so. All right, once I have my rectangle over here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the block command to create a block. Of course, I'm gonna call this I don't know, lazy area. It's all up to you. You can call it as you wish. But the idea here is that once we are inside, of course, I'm going to select my base point over here. The idea is that we can start adding some constraints and parameters to this object so we can input a specific area. And the way I'm going to do it is go over here. But before I do anything else, we will need to add constraints to these items so that they are always parallel to each other, like you're seeing over here, this with this other line as well as this other line. So I need to use again some of these constraints. um, but the way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna also automate this process, and I'm gonna use this auto constraint option over here. So once I click that, I can select all of my lines like so. And once I press enter, you're gonna see that AutoCAD it's smart enough again to make these two lines parallel to each other as well as these other ones. Not only that, but it's also using this perpendicular constraint to have my items ready to go. All right. So once we have that, what we can do is start adding some horizontal, um, not constraints, but dimensions. So I'm going to click and select this horizontal dimensional, and I'm going to select this point uh, all the way to this other point like so, and place it like so. So I'm going to rename it to kind of keep things organized. I'm going to call this W for width. And I'm going to do the same, but in this case, I'm going to use the vertical dimensional over here to select this point as well as this other point and call this length or L. All right. So once I do that, I will need a way to input a area, right? So the way I'm gonna do it is from the ribbon, I can click the parameters manager over here, and I will have this parameter manager palette over here on my screen. For some reason, it's not showing up, but let me expand it. Okay. Oops. Let me so give me 1 second over here. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. All right, much better. And then I'm gonna also place. Okay. So now that I have my parameter manager open like so, we can see that we have a couple of dimensional constraints, of course, L and W, the ones that we just created. And we're going to create a new user parameter by clicking this option. And I'm going to call this area, and I'm going to say SF for square foot, and I'm going to press enter. Now, this is the option again that the user will need to input any area, right? And now what I'm gonna do is use a simple formula under the length option right here. And the formula that I'm gonna use is I want the area, square foot, of course. I want the area to be divided by the width or W. And all of this I want to be multiplied by 144. Why? Well, because this way we can have, instead of having my block, which is in inches right now, I'm gonna multiply it by 144 so I can get the square foot or square feet. All right, so that's the formula that we'll need. I'm gonna press enter. And now that we have this set, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close and save the block editor to test things out. I'm gonna save the changes, of course, and let's see what we get. So this is the block right here. It's again a polyline, a quick polyline object. Now let's test it over here. Let's go ahead and say that I need again to subdivide this side plan, and I'm gonna place it over here on this corner. And let's say I need 8,500 square foot or square feet, right, to subdivide an area. So now it's that simple. You can simply go over here under the properties, and where it says area, we can type our area. Let's say 8,500. I'm gonna press enter, and of course I'll need to adjust my specific block like so. Now, if you wanna double check that this is the correct area, we can draw a rectangle really quick from this point all the way up to here, and we're gonna select that polyline, and you can see over here that that's also the correct area, 8,500 square feet. All right, so hopefully this technique again can help you simplify some of the area calculations. This is very helpful for any type of job. It can be structural, civil, architectural, and so on. So this is just an example, but once you implement this technique again, you can input any area that you want. Let's say 5,000, press enter, and here you go. Quickly and easily you can constrain areas and again simplify your work. All right, so let me know if you have any questions related to this simple but powerful dynamic block, polyline or area, however you want to call it. But again, this can quickly help us simplify some of those tedious processes, again, of calculating areas in AutoCAD. All right, so let's say 3,000. We have again those two different parcels in this case of 3,000 each, and so on. All right, so let's see if you have any questions before we wrap up today's presentation, where we created this dynamic block. All right, we created this dynamic block really quick using constraints, using uh, dimensional constraints also, and we were able to use a simple formula to create again this block, right, that's gonna simplify our life and our work. So let me see what do you think about this dynamic block that we just created. um, do you think it's gonna save you time or not? Let me know on the chat. um, Let me close this. All right. If there is no questions, I'm gonna start preparing for our next live stream, uh, and start thinking on a topic for our live stream. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but I have a couple of ideas. So maybe we can create a macro command. I think those are one of your favorites. The custom macro commands that we create. Um, or maybe you want another dynamic block. Um, so we have some time to do some Q&A. If you have any AutoCAD related questions, you can put it on the chat and we can help you in real time. We have a couple of more minutes before we wrap up today's presentation, which again was short, but I believe it was very powerful. Hopefully, it's gonna save you again a lot of time uh, when working with areas in AutoCAD. All right. Um, all right. If there's no more questions, then I'm gonna stop right here. And hopefully you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you here next week. All right.